The history of American prisons is full of daring escapes, but some of the most ambitious jailbreaks ended in dramatic failure, leaving behind stories that are chilling, tragic, and sometimes even baffling. Today we take a closer look at 5 of the most notorious failed jailbreaks in U.S. history, where ingenuity met harsh reality, and the consequences were severe. One of the most famous escape attempts happened in 1962 at the notorious Alcatraz Federal Penitentiary in San Francisco Bay. Alcatraz, often called the Rock, was designed to be inescapable, surrounded by freezing waters and guarded by armed officers. Yet, inmates Frank Morris, along with brothers John and Clarence Anglin, hatched a plan so audacious it has become legendary. For months, they secretly dug through the concrete walls of their cells using improvised tools, carefully concealing the holes behind air vents and cardboard. They also crafted a raft and dummy heads to fool the guards during nightly counts. On a foggy June night, they made their escape, disappearing into the dark waters of the bay. Despite an intensive search, no confirmed trace of the men was ever found, and the FBI eventually closed the case, presuming they drowned. The mystery surrounding their fate has turned this escape into a cultural legend, inspiring books, documentaries, and movies. Fast forward to 2015, when a modern-day breakout at Clinton Correctional Facility in Dannemora, New York, shocked the nation. Inmates Richard Matt and David Sweat orchestrated a meticulously planned escape that involved digging through walls and even enlisting the help of prison employees. Their disappearance triggered a 23-day manhunt that gripped the country. While their ingenuity was remarkable, the freedom they sought was fleeting. Matt was killed by law enforcement, and Sweat was recaptured, proving that even with careful planning, escaping a modern high-security prison is nearly impossible. Some escape attempts are tied not only to criminal ambition, but also to political motivations. During the early 1970s, the infamous Maze prison escape in Northern Ireland had connections to American-born inmates supporting IRA activities. Over 30 prisoners attempted to free themselves using smuggled weapons, taking guards by surprise. However, coordination errors and the swift response of security forces led to the recapture or death of many escapees. This failed breakout highlights how even meticulously planned operations can crumble under pressure and unexpected resistance. Back in Texas, the 1935 attempted mass escape from the Texas State Penitentiary in Huntsville, known as the Walls Unit, showed just how disastrous poor planning can be. Inmates overpowered guards and attempted to scale the prison walls, believing sheer numbers could secure their freedom. But the guards, armed with machine guns and positioned strategically, quickly regained control. Several inmates were injured or killed, and the event stands as one of the most catastrophic jailbreak failures in the state's history. It's a stark reminder that underestimating security measures can turn ambition into tragedy. Finally, the 1971 Attica Prison riot in New York demonstrated how chaos and desperation could collide with fatal results. Inmates attempted to take control of the facility during a massive uprising, seeking freedom amid extreme conditions and mistreatment. For 4 tense days, prisoners held parts of the prison, negotiating and attempting escape. But the rebellion ended violently when authorities stormed the prison, leading to the deaths of 43 people, including both inmates and guards. The failed attempt was not only a jailbreak, but also a tragic reflection of systemic failures and the brutal consequences of resistance against heavily fortified institutions. These stories, spanning decades and states, illustrate a common theme. No matter how ingenious or daring the plan, the harsh realities of security, law enforcement, and sometimes nature itself often intervene. From the cold waters surrounding Alcatraz to the heavily armed guards of Texas, each failed attempt has left a mark on American prison history. They serve as cautionary tales of ambition, desperation, and the often deadly consequences of challenging authority behind bars. Whether it's the mysterious fate of Alcatraz escapees or the tragic outcomes of Attica, these failed jailbreaks remain etched in the collective imagination, reminding us that freedom is never easily won within the confines of a prison. They are stories of human determination clashing with impossible odds, of ingenuity meeting harsh reality, and of dreams of freedom cut short by circumstances beyond the inmate's control.